Hey, what's up, everyone? Aaron Bowman here with the Living in Connecticut podcast, or if you're watching on YouTube, Living in Connecticut, our YouTube channel. Again, my name is Aaron Bowman. My team and I sell real estate across the state of Connecticut, and today I got Tim with me. He's a newer agent on the team, so this is his first time on video and the podcast, so forgive him if he's a little nervous. This isn't natural for everybody, but we're going to be talking the market report for the month of May, kind of what's been going on in April and March. Take a look at those numbers. And then we're going to get a little insight from Tim here on how it is to be a new agent in this market. You know, big congratulations to him because he got his first listing under contract. And, you know, it's an exciting time, especially being a new agent. And in this market, it's very hectic. It's very fast paced. But enough of that. I'm going to let Tim take it over and introduce himself and tell us a little bit about how you got started in real estate and what it's like being a realtor in this market.
I got started in real estate because a lot of people I know were in real estate, killing it. So I was like, I think I can give this a try. Come from a construction background with an extensive network, so gave it a shot, got my license, and started with 𝗖cie and Aaron. Finally got my first listing. It did take about 3 months of grinding.
Yeah, it is a grind though, isn't it? Like you got to constantly be out there every day, like making those phone calls. So your first listing, it is in Bristol. And when I tell you this house is a doozy, I mean, it is. If you've ever seen the movie Money Pit house is better than this one. This one needs some work, but just to give you an idea of what we got going on in this market, how fast it's sold. So went on the market, what, a day ago, 2 days ago?
Yeah, like 36 hours ago.
Okay. And how many showings have you gotten in 36 hours?
About 60 showings already.
Yeah. And it needs about how much work from your contractor that came out and looked?
I got quotes anywhere from $100K to $250,000.
Yeah. So the house needs extensive renovation work. It is in the historical district, right, in Bristol?
Federal Hill. I think it's a historical district.
Okay.
Not positive.
But really nice house. Other nice houses on the block. It's just this one's, you know, pretty dilapidated and needs a little work. So, yeah, Tim and I went there. We did photos about a week ago, put it up. I didn't even think we had time to put a sign in the ground, you know, yet. And your phone's been ringing ever since he's been in the office today getting paperwork done.
Yeah.
So how stressful is it?
It's more nervous than stressful. It's just like working every day. You just have to do it.
Yep.
But you're meeting new people, doing new things. So there's like a nervous feeling of it. Oh, am I doing it the right way? Am I filing the paperwork correctly? Am I, saying everything that's legal? Or am I saying things that I shouldn't say? Yeah. There's a lot of rules and regulations we have to follow and a lot of paperwork. You know, when you talk to sellers, whether it's a for sale by owner or somebody that's thinking of selling their house, a lot of people are like, oh, well, I don't want to pay you your commission or your marketing fee because all you guys do is throw it up in the MLS. And that's not really true. There's a lot that comes to it, a lot of legalities that we have to make sure we stay within, everything from steering and anything like that. When it comes to selling a house, making sure you're using the right verbiage and not discriminating against anybody, which is huge. And, we don't need those fines. Definitely.
So we're going to jump into the market report. So these are the numbers for March and April. We're now in May. So Tim, you're going to take it off with price. What were the prices for the medium price range homes in March and April?
All right. So the median price ranges starting in April was $310. Last month in March was $295,000. Now it's $310,000. So the price is going up. Demand's probably still going up.
Yep.
People are getting hungry. They're missing their houses, so they're paying more now.
Yeah, and those are great points. I mean, you haven't worked with any buyers yet. You did get some buyers from this listing. You've had some rentals, but I have a couple right now. I think I've shown them close to 17 homes in like the Naugatuck, Wolcott area, and it's insane. We put in offers and we keep getting beaten out, and it's just because people are willing to pay a lot more money out of pocket for houses than I think they would appraise for. So yeah, the prices are going to keep going up. That's what you're going to keep seeing. And the market is just on fire right now. It's hard to keep up some days because your phone's ringing nonstop. But I'm going to go and take care of days on market. So again, like I always say, days on market is from the time you speak with somebody like myself or Tim or another agent, but if you are selling, preferably somebody on our team, and you sign all your paperwork, you get the photos done, the sign goes in the ground, goes up on the MLS, all the marketing starts. And in March, the average time was 32 days from that point to finish for your home to be sold. That's when you have a check in hand and everything like that. And that's as long as there's not a lot of speed bumps. Like I'm selling a house right now and the sellers have to put in a whole new septic, which, it happens. In April, that has dropped to 22 days. So almost a 10-day difference, which is crazy that things are getting sold that fast and being under contract and closing. But a lot of things that I'm seeing now is that people are doing like a 2-month lease back to the seller because they don't have a place to go yet, the homeowner. So there's different things that are being done because of the lack of inventory. And we'll get to supply at the end. That'll be the last thing I touch on. But yeah, the days on market is crazy. It's crazy how fast it's going. I mean, you're experiencing it right now. 36 hours and over 60 views. And how many offers did you get in?
I want to say about 10 offers, like written offers that I received, besides the talked of offers saying I will offer this.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's something. Eventually, this is all going to crash, and I don't want to say crash, but the wave's going to slow down a little bit. Probably going into 2022 at some point. I think we're going to see a change in things a little bit. But right now, with interest rates low and very little inventory, which we'll get into, which I think you have. Or no, I've got supply, I've got inventory. So we'll go into how many sales happened in March and April.
So like the market is definitely ramping up. There's more and more sales. Back in March, there was 3,894 houses sold in Connecticut, right?
Yeah, all Connecticut.
Just Connecticut.
Yep, just Connecticut.
And then in April, there's 4,137 houses.
Yeah, I can't read my writing, sorry.
I was like, but that's, 300 more houses, 400 more houses in just a month.
It's insane.
4,200 houses in a month. That's a lot of houses.
Yeah, it's a lot of transactions. Things are going very quick. I talked to another realtor early this morning who had just come over to 𝗖XP, and she had a listing and it barely even made it on the MLS. Like she did everything, and they actually did a withholding from the MLS just because they already had buyers waiting. It was, she just facilitated the transaction, but things are going so fast. So if you are a homeowner and you happen to be watching this, all of our contact information will be in the show notes, or if you're watching on YouTube, in the description. So feel free to reach out to any of us. If you call our phone number that's in there, it rings everybody on the team, so somebody should answer, and then we'll be able to assist you in any way, shape, or form when it comes to buying, selling, renting, investing, anything like that, because this is actually the guy that you got this listing from. He's an investor. Yeah. So and when we talked, he invests in a couple different areas. I think like Arizona, Florida, something like that he was saying.
Yeah, definitely Florida, maybe, what was it, Carolina?
Carolinas, that's what it was. Yeah. So he's kind of all over. And so, we can help and we can facilitate and put you in contact with other 𝗖XP agents in those other states. But I'm going to jump in here and take care of supply. So supply basically means how many homes are on the market for sale. Now, I made a prediction last video, so if you go back and look at the last market report update, and I was wrong. I thought the numbers were going to drop, and they actually went up by very, very little. So supply, March, we had 2.1 months worth of supply. So if nobody else put a house on the market, we'd have no homes left to sell. There'd be no homes left to buy, rent, or anything like that. That was it for supply. In April, that went up to a whopping 2.2. So there was some movement towards the higher end, but still nowhere near what the supply was. If you go back and look at some of our older videos or podcasts, you'll see that there was like 4, 5, 6 months worth of supply, and it was a completely different market. And then ever since this pandemic hit, and a lot of people in the cities had gotten tired of living in their, their penthouses and their condominiums and their high rises. And they couldn't take their dog to the park anymore because the parks were closed, and they had no grass or anything like that. Everybody's been coming up this way to buy. It's been crazy. So now Connecticut, being that it's in such a good location between Boston and New York, I think it's like 100 miles each way, something like that, roughly, that, you can work in two major cities and still live in Connecticut. And we have rail systems, so you can take Metro North or Amtrak right into New York, and then you can jump on and take the T to Boston. So being that we're in Connecticut, like I said, if you are thinking of downsizing and you're thinking of getting out of the state, now would be a fantastic time to put your house in the market, because things aren't slowing down by any means. And the interest rates are still low, so people are still taking out loans and buying. So it's crazy right now,
And even New Jersey people, I've been getting offers from people in New Jersey. I think we're going to accept an offer from a person in New York.
And those, and a couple of your offers came in sight unseen too, which is just crazy.
Sight unseen.
Yeah, they just looked at the photos that we took and they were putting in offers. So that in itself is just blows my mind that
sight unseen and over asking.
Yeah, which is crazy. It's absolutely insane. So as far as being a new realtor, and those are the numbers for the month. That's the market report. So if you don't want to hear any more, then you can shut us off, or fast forward, go to the next video or next podcast. But being that you're a new realtor, what are some of the things, if somebody's watching this that might be a new realtor or thinking about getting in real estate, so they're watching the market to see what it's doing, what are some of the things that you kind of wish the real estate school, because you did yours all online, right?
Correct. The whole pandemic and everything. Yeah. I ended up doing it
all
100%
virtual
online, besides the state exam.
Okay. So what are some of the things that you wish the course would have taught you before getting out here?
I really wish they would have touched on walked you through a buyer and a selling transaction.
Right.
They really don't touch on any of the software we use, the MLS. So you sort of go in blind to knowing how to do something.
Yep.
You know all the laws and what not to do.
Yeah, how not to end up in jail, but you don't know how to write a contract and you come out. And that was one of the things too. When I was in my first brokerage, I thought the same thing. I'm like, okay, let's go write a contract. And I was like, wait, I don't know how to write a contract. So the broker I was working with, we were at a little boutique place out of Tallinn, Maz Real Estate. And, Ralph came out with me with my very first clients that were friends of my father's and myself. And we sat down at Papa T's in Tallinn, and he's like, okay, this is how we fill out a contract. And he literally filled it out for me, and it was just like, okay, why couldn't we do that in class? Sit across the table from somebody, okay, Mr. Seller or Mr. Buyer, what's your name? Fill everything out type thing. And then, know how to do those contracts. Because they do teach you a lot of laws and regulations and a lot of stuff to keep yourself from getting in trouble or anything like that.
It's more about what not to do, not how to actually do anything.
Right.
I called you how many times?
That's what I'm here for.
My first contract.
Yep, absolutely.
Still didn't do it perfect.
But the fact is, the more you do it, the better it'll get. But again, these are the numbers. We do these every month, and we appreciate everybody that watches the podcast or listens to it. And as always, like I said, our contact information is down below. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions regarding real estate. If you're thinking of getting in real estate as a business or a side hustle, please reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to answer any questions, and especially use Tim. He's got to be a wealth of knowledge, seeing how he's brand new, first transaction, which is awesome. And thanks for listening, Tim. You got anything you want to add before we head off? I try to keep these kind of short. We're almost at 13 minutes. So
no, that's about it.
All right, cool. How was your first podcast?
Intimidating, but not bad.
All right. And your first YouTube video?
About the same.
About the same. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next podcast.